Welcome to summertime in Animal Crossing New Horizons. There's all sorts of new updates to check out as the sun shines down on my island paradise. Have a safe and sunscreen-filled summer. I have played 160 hours of Animal Crossing New Horizons, and I want to keep playing more, and in order to justify playing more of the game and feeling productive, I want to do more videos on it. So I'm going to play Animal Crossing New Horizons on this video here, but not as Brian. Okay? So I'm going to wrap things up for right now. There's new villagers in the town. There's some little things that have changed. A lot of it is the same, but I'm not going to be playing as Brian right now. So the save is complete. See you later. Closing it out. I created a separate account up in the top left-hand corner above me that you can see. And I thought, well, I could add another person to the town as a player to make up some, fill in some space in the town. So instead of playing as Brian, I'm going to play as Larry. Lincoln Log Larry. The alternate ego to BricksOBrian. Okay? So this is what Lincoln Log Larry would look like here in me form. And I'm going to start up a brand new house in the same town of Nahant. And what I want to do is see how long it'll take in order to upgrade it to the second level of the house. Because everything is all put in place. All of the fruit and a lot of the town is complete in a lot of ways. So to get to the expanded house, the first one, so there's the biggest room possible, that should be relatively easy. And I wanted to see if I can deck out his house pretty well. So I haven't seen this intro in about 2 months. It's very welcoming here. Good afternoon. So my name is Brian Saviano, BricksOBrian, but I guess my name today is Lincoln Log Larry. So what I want to do is deck out his house in all log-themed furniture. I want to make a very cool-looking foresty area around there, so I already know the spot where his house is going to go. You may have seen it on the map before, but I'm not quite sure. Larry is totally okay by me. His birthday, I feel like he's an August kind of a guy. Like August 19th. That day has no meaning to me whatsoever. August 19th. It just, the weather's about to chill a little bit, end of summer, where you're going into the forest, maybe to a cabin or something to celebrate end of summer activities. You and the family go away there, so maybe August 19th. And if anything falls on August 19th, then that's entirely coincidental. I have maybe subconsciously there's something with that date, but not that I know of. So, and then we obviously deck out who Larry is. Larry is a guy, and Larry is, he's an interesting fellow, I would guess. Pretty basic overall. He'd kind of have that style hair, not like a buzz cut. He's a rugged outdoorsman, sort of a deal. We'll go with. Yeah, I'm trying to make this not look like me, so we're gonna try something a little different here. Those eyes, yeah, that makes sense. He's all brown and green, pretty much. The whole concept there. We can go with buck teeth. Yeah, why not? We'll go with a round nose, just to make him a little different, No sort of blush or anything. No, that's fine. We can make him look like that. That's totally okay. So that's that. This isn't based off of anybody specifically. This is what I feel Lincoln Log Larry would be like. He's a guy who loves spending time in nature and getting to hug trees and be one with the birds. I don't know. Just kind of that guy there. He's got his stuff together. He's not some rando out in the middle of the woods doing nothing all the time. He's doing stuff, but not quite like the city type vibe that I have as BricksOBrian. So me in another universe would be, I guess, very, very outdoorsy, I suppose. I'm going to skip the intro and all that. We know how this goes, okay? You've been around the block. I've played this game 160 hours. So the way the rules are, that I'm going to go through the main intro as it normally is here. This is what you see when you enter the town here. It's the same exact town as you'd seen before. The town flag is the same. So I'm not going to change anything involving the town layout itself, at least not right now. So obviously on the Brian profile, I have all of the island app designer stuff. I have all the recipes and everything. So if I want to give Larry anything, I can, but not money to upgrade the house. So any furniture, like I'm not going to get all the recipes as him because I already have all the recipes as Brian. So that doesn't really make any sense to do it that way. So this is what once a deserted island, it's definitely not now. So he gives me a spot in order to place my campsite here. I'm going to go up to the top. What some people actually do is they make an entire new island on a second switch they might have and put it in the southern hemisphere. So right now in the southern hemisphere it's the fall weather, so there's like acorns in the trees and all sorts of other minor differences like that. The color of the grass is different, the trees are different, the vibe overall is different. Do I have the island designer app already? Wow, I must. Cool. So in terms of any of that, I have one of my own. Cool. You know, I don't need to deck him out with other tools. Like, all the tools I can just give him as Brian. You know, I don't want to have to wait for the recipes there. So, unless 49,000 bells. Okay, cool. So, I don't know how much they actually give you. They might already give me the axe recipe and all the other recipes that I would need. So, what I have at my disposal here is not what's in the ATM. I'm not going to use the ATM at all. I'm just going to get all the different fruit and everything on the island and see how quickly I can get to paying off my debt, getting the first house, and getting the expansion. I'm not doing a left-right, you know, straight-ahead room. I'm not... That was a totally wrong way of me phrasing that. But I'm not going to do all those other rooms. I'm just going to do the big main room in general and then call it there. We don't have to worry about the island evaluations, any of that stuff. And I'm not going to have him get the golden, you know, recipes and whatnot because, yeah. Okay, so it's recorded via autosave, obviously. Duh. And it seems like I can just do whatever I want to. There's no requirements to getting, you know, started with the island like before. Any of the Nook Miles that I get here, I'm probably going to redeem for Nook Miles tickets just by, you know, playing the game here. And I'll probably drop those Nook Mile tickets and give them to myself as Brian. But it seems like I already do have the Island Designer app. I don't have the full inventory, so that's pretty cool. I'm glad they actually give you that ability there. So it's assuming that you already know what you're doing, which is interesting. So I'm going to leave that there. And you can obviously greet all the villagers as Larry and do all that. So, yeah, the island is a little bit different from when you saw it last time. Here and there. I'm going to deck out this main area to be all, not red, blue, white, and yellow hyacinths around here. The yellow ones I do not have nearly enough of, so I have to wait for Leaf to show up or get them in the shop. But I'll show you exactly where Larry is going to be set up. And this really starts because of an issue I had up toward the top. So I also had to move the museum back a little bit. It was initially right here, and it didn't look good, so I pushed it back a little bit. So I had to move it back to where it was, then put it back over here. So now it looks a bit like it did before. It's a bit, you know, more condensed. The lights aren't here, but, you know, whatever. It's fine. I think it looks really good. So over here, there's roses over here now, and there's actually some gold roses. So that's pretty cool. And the flowers they are watered. So I watered them before I switched over to Larry and all that. So these are all red flowers that should make more black. They're red roses that should make more black roses, which in turn should make more gold roses. Not that I need or want them, but just to have them, I guess. So all blue over here. Lots of blue hyacinths. They took forever to grow. Now, over here was the mountainous area. As you can see, it was like this next level over here. I didn't know what to do because up toward this section over here, you know, I have this garden, and I actually adapted it a little bit to add a bit more to it. So there's red flowers to symbolize, you know, the apples there. I added like the orange star bits there but not star bits, whatever you want to call them, to correlate with the color of the fruit. So all sorts of little details like that. I got to clean this up eventually, but whatever. So that's what I was doing. I actually have to put green mums over here because, fun fact for you, that's actually the only green flower in the game. So that's what's going to go there eventually. And I don't even have any tools. I have nothing on me. So yeah. I thought, well, there's money trees over here. Toward this section, I was going to make it all gold everything, but I don't need that big of a section. And not only that, but I don't need money trees anymore. The stock market has treated me very well. I have like 12 million bells, so I have to pay off my loan as Brian finally and get it all done. So I'm like, why don't I just put Larry up here? So before I explain more of like Larry and all that, this whole area, this whole lane of the residential area is all pink and purple and red. So each one of these lanes is going to be a different color scheme. So all the pink, red, and purple over here. Down toward this section is going to be all yellow, orange. If there's any other colors that kind of fit that, I'll put them down here. Over toward this section is probably going to be black and white, maybe. And then the whole plaza is blue, yellow, white. So still working on that sort of thing. But I think it looks pretty good, especially with these bushes back here placed along the wall. They look really cool. So yeah, Larry is going to go over here. It's going to be right toward this back section here. Red has not appeared at all. Literally at all since the beginning of this playthrough. So he appeared once, and that's about it. So, okay, I need to go one more back toward this way. And that should be good there. Yes, there we go. I'm going to imagine this real quick. And obviously, the tent is nowhere near as big as the house will be. So you see I put the path right there. And there you go. So this is going to be where Larry is going to live. And, yeah, the house is not going to be decked out to the biggest level at all. It's just going to be the same sort of deal there. So there's these gifts from Nintendo. Cool. So downloading the update, and I can toss that. Cool. So I believe this is the Nintendo Switch and something else. I forget. It's the DIY workbench. Cool. And the Switch, or the world map, rather. Oh, cool. All right. So that's something else there. DIY recipe. I wonder. Oh, I have to actually talk to Tom in order to memorize it. Wow. I forgot that was even a thing. So let me go talk to him real quick, since I placed down my tent and basically start from scratch. Some people who download their Switch, or rather the game on their Switch, manage to restart their entire town and have an entirely separate second town. That's a lot of effort, man. That's a lot of effort. So I'm not necessarily down for that, but yes. Can I help with the DIY thing? Yeah, give me the DIY stuff, please. I feel somewhat helpless because I'm like, well, I don't know how to do any of this stuff right now. Please help me out here, because I know everything else to do in the game. But you get so used to, you know, doing everything else that you kind of lose sight of all that, you know. I'd love to. Please teach me how to Dougie. It's very weird seeing that there's a workshop here, even though it's like a main residential services building instead of it being in the campsite thing. So, what materials am I collecting? I forget. Oops. Did I not pay attention there? I must have not paid attention. 5 tree. Oh, we got to start from the very beginning. Okay. I could have just given myself all the items if I really wanted to. Just drop everything in the front and call it there, but not going to do that quite yet. I've seen a lot of people go about the town, and I've actually seen one person who has like all 5 of their players on their Switch in like one little area, and it's like, man, that's pretty packed there, but you know, that's okay. So yeah, I really just wanted to keep making more videos on Animal Crossing, and I thought this would be a cool way to do it, considering that, you know, there's always new things to do in the game, and right now, it's kind of in a little bit of a lull, only because the updates are not coming out super fast. So a lot of what I've done has been customizing the town fully, in a lot of ways, and just trying to make everything look good. So, like, over in the town square area, there's going to be a lot of new shops, apparently. So, I'm just basically, waiting for that to happen. Who knows what's going to be there. Apparently, there's rumors of there being, like, a coffee shop, things like that. So, there's plenty of room in the town square to make that happen. There's my fishing rod. Cool. And there's one last thing. There's a couple of DIY recipes there. Beautiful. So I can use all those to my heart's content. And I should be able to pay this off really without factoring anything else in. I should be totally fine. I can really just shake all the fruit off the trees over there and be totally fine. So there's a larger variety of fish, of course. Let's learn this. Because why not? There we go. Boom. So I think the first order of business is to pay off this loan, considering that I'm able to. And I'm not going to talk to any of the villagers here quite yet. I'm just going to let all that keep happening there. So I still have all of these trees over here. These are going to get rid of eventually. Not right now. But they're still a good source of money if you are in need of it. At least, if I were in need of it. But, right now I don't need to get any of these because I have a bunch of money. And almost enough money, I would say, to last me almost forever. So, yeah, the stock market working real nice. And, I pay off my home loan, which will be 2.5 million bells, something like that. And then after that, it's really just getting new stuff for the island. There's all sorts of communities online where people are, learning a whole bunch of recipes from each other. And there's like a website where people are selling off, or rather trading, their own items and whatnot. So they're trading for specific items to get other things and DIY recipes, but I'm not bothering with any of that. That's a lot of effort, I'd like to make do with what I have, and right now, unfortunately, there's not quite as many, resources to get new stuff. So, in my game as Brian, the whole second floor is basically full of all Nook recipes that I already have. And I'm trying to trade with people that don't have any of those recipes to try to get them, hey, if you want these recipes, cool. Go ahead, do that. But everyone that I've wanted to trade with or give them to has already had most of them. So what I've figured out is that a lot of the recipes that you get in the game toward the later part, they get repetitive. So right now, I'm 160 hours into the game, which is a long time. It's a very, very long time, and I'm not saying it's not. So I need to definitely chill with it, but hey, nothing else to do. So I wish there was more variety of ways to get more recipes and do more things like that, but, I have a lot of repeats, and they do not sell for very well, or a lot, in the Nook shop. They're just basically the same. So, I wish it was very different, or if there was some way to, trade in new ones for old ones. And I understand that it's like, oh, we want you to connect with other players and do the whole thing there. But if you have to rely on a third-party website to really hook up with, strangers that are on this website, that's that's not really safe at all. And, it's like you're supposed to trade with friends. But if all your friends are getting all the same stuff, then it's like, well, you can't really trade with your friends, now can you? Because it's not beneficial to do so. So, I don't know. I hope that there's some sort of variety that gets changed down the line. Who knows? They could keep it the same. I feel like they'll keep it the same. But yeah, who knows?